I would like to introduce you to Fariba. She is a data scientist and advanced analytics cloud solution architect at Microsoft Canada. She has a PhD of computer science focused on leveraging AI and machine learning to solve cybersecurity problems. She has a very diverse background in working as a data scientist for various industries from telecommunication, manufacturing, and retail and financial institutes. Passionate about data science and solving business problems with data, she believes there is no limit in how data can be leveraged in industry to help them grow their business. So let's together welcome Fariba, who will talk about AI for us today.
Thank you. Cool. I will go back to that introduction, but just first, how many data scientists do we have here? Okay, expensive resources. How many citizen data scientists do we have? Do you know what is a citizen data scientist? Okay, no? Okay. Like so many people want to get started and start working with data, either data scientist or data analyst or whatever the title would be, they want to work with data and solve business problems. If you are not educated in a level that you can work as expected as a data scientist, you are just slowly ramping up as a citizen or just an individual with a background in tech, hopefully. And those are called citizen data scientists, people who are really looking into learning a lot about this field. Maybe you are a domain expert in your industry and you know a lot about the data, you know a lot about the business, but you don't know how to solve your business problems with the data that you have. You will slowly look into learning that. And AutoML, automated machine learning, would be a cool way of doing that. And how many data science managers do we have? Okay, that's good. At least we have one. I was just looking, no, nothing. That's cool. Thanks for the organizer for organizing this event. It is really cool. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but data scientists and data people are usually looking at the world like this. We don't look around. And we don't look into what others really have to say about what we do as a data scientist. My life in data science is a really, I don't know, complicated or different. I got my PhD focusing on cybersecurity using AI and machine learning as an approach to solve my problem, which was a security problem of solving or detecting malwares and botnets. I spent 5 years researching that. And at the end of it, I was thinking, if you want to do data science properly, you would be spending so much time on solving that issue. I joined a telecom analytics company after that and said, it's not that hard. I'll learn what telecommunication is, what the business is about in 3 months, and then I will do my own data science stuff. That went on, and after a year, I joined Bank of Canada and said, dealing with economists is really hard and tough. Sorry if we have any here, but like the window, data scientists are like this, they're like this. It's just only numbers. So I thought, it takes maybe 6 months, but I will get there eventually. And then I joined Microsoft and said, oh gosh, what did I do to my own career? Why? Because like they sent me like a list of customers. These are the people who you will be supporting. Oil and gas, I don't know much about. Retail, I don't know anything about that. And how are you going to solve their business? That was my question for the whole year. How can I help those business people solve their problem when I don't know anything about their data? And that's how I learned my way of, okay, you don't know something, you tag someone with yourself, learn through the process, and ask so many stupid questions as you can. And that's literally it. And it hasn't ended. Like I met with a customer yesterday. I was I am going, and not I was, I'm going to design a loan approval kind of an application using machine learning for them. So if someone comes and like submit a request to get a loan for a car loan, house loan, whatever, instead of going through the application manually, which is the case for so many, let's say, businesses, use the machine learning algorithm to do that. I said, okay, I can do that. It's not one of those crazy applications. I have done harder things. But then I asked the person, like, explain the data. And he was like, why do you need that? You get this data, dump it somewhere, apply machine learning algorithm on top of that, and give me a model that works. And then I apply that, deploy that into my business. I said, not really. I don't know what trades are. I don't know what total number of X are. Like, I don't know anything about this data. Like, do you want me to really solve your business or just pass you something because I'm a Microsoft employee and I do awesome stuff so you can believe me when I say this is an awesome model? So I don't know, just send me questions. So it is just like learning how to work in those industries and kind of learning how to set the expectation for people. And I'm doing that for you. You don't know it yet. I'm just setting expectations. I'm not an expert in AI for errors at all. I'm a machine learning person. What I do is I go to customers related to this concept. I learn about their stories, what they want to do. They explain. I tag a domain expert person with myself to answer all of my questions, and I build a solution for them. Unlike me, so many folks on the Microsoft side who are actually assigned to the AI for Errors program, or I will give you a broader research group, which is AI for Good in Microsoft, they're expert in this. So ask any questions that you want. If I don't know the answer, I will get you answers. Like, I will find someone that can help in any ways. And for someone who is curious about what is AI cloud solution architect, I understand that you are a data scientist, but what is the other title that you have? I have to put it there because that's my official title in Microsoft. But other than that, at the next level of data science, you go and learn about businesses, and then you bring in an architecture of so many solutions connected together to solve that business problem. So it's not about AI only, it's about data, ingesting data. It's about then bringing an application person to build that application that has that AI model embedded in that. So it's just a complex world of putting pieces together to actually build a solution that works for the business and help them solve their business problems. Can someone like define AI for me, please? We all know what it is, but can someone speak to that? Good. I have a 30 minutes talk tomorrow defining AI, and I don't know what I'm going to say there. Anyway, that is my maybe exercise for tonight. AI. What I put it is just, you can have a definition. Helping, help to learn and understand something that maybe can help the businesses to solve problems. To me, it's about asking computers to solve the problems that is hard to solve for human beings or not solvable by human beings in an appropriate amount of time. So it's not that you can't do it, maybe you can't do it properly, or it is just a lot. By the time you solve the issue, the issue has evolved into so many other issues, and that's it. Where do we use AI for? It just really, when you ask the AI people what AI can solve, it's a wrong question. Eventually, it's about what you need AI to solve, and then you make that happen for yourself. If it's about getting information and asking computers to do what you need, that's what AI should be all about. AI for Earth. AI for health. Like those are the things that are critical. Unfortunately, what we do is just we focus on AI problems related to technologies. Like companies are dealing with lots of data, so let's solve it. Um, Data is a big issue for companies who have a lot of data, but they don't really know what they want, but they just think that they can hire a data scientist, all the problem will be solved. It's not about that. It's about what you really need that solution to do, and that's what AI means to you and your company eventually. Why AI for Earth? And AI for Earth, I said in the beginning, is only one chapter of what we should be looking as data scientists at. But it's just any branches of AI in society, what I like to call it, is about making a better future for you. It's about how are you going to live 10 years, 20 years, 100 years from now? What should you do now to make a better life for yourself and for your family and generations to come in 100 years? What is the key missing pieces in your life, in everyone's life, that we don't really pay attention to? And maybe in 100 years, we will have serious problems. AI for Good is a program that Microsoft has, and I'm not here to talk about what Microsoft does. Like I am, but eventually I think all companies are doing the same thing. Maybe if you put a dollar amount into it, not equally, but they are doing that. So it's just, if you need something like that, it's just the matter of time for you to search for the right solution with the right company. And well, high-tech company will help you because they have so many, let's say, initiatives to help you build something without paying for that. And this is actually what Microsoft does in this space. So AI for Good, AI for Earth is only one part of that. We have so many other programs, AI for Accessibility, AI for Humanitarian Actions, for Cultural Heritage and Health. And each of those is a program for Microsoft to support the community. If you are a small company or a big company, has something in mind about any of these fields, just Google or Bing, whatever. I'm supposed to say Bing it, but do whatever you do in your life to find the right program for your own company, and that will be the thing you need. There are so many things you can do, and I will talk about those options with you here. So what is AI for Earth? As I said, it's just empowering you as a human being and as an organization to do better in your life and also to solve the global environment changes, climate change being one of them. It just to make things better for our future life, I would say that. Microsoft has a $50 million commitment to this program, and all of those other 6 programs are having $40 million or so, like different, but huge money. And this is going to help you and support you as an organization to build free applications. Just ask for something, and they will build it for you. They will assign people like me to come to your company and build what you need for you, for your city, whatever it takes. And it's crazy that I say whatever it takes because as part of my job, I have a seller that kind of introduced me, Fariba, blah, blah, blah. She's here to support you with anything you need AI related. And that is anything you need AI related. I do a lot. I hire data scientists for my customers. I talk to C-level people to convince them that this is the solution to invest in, and I code. So whatever you want in the AI space, I will be doing that. And there are so many resources like myself. They don't like to call it free resources, but non-chargeable resources. That's essentially the same thing. Anyways, the focus areas, agriculture, water, biodiversity, and climate change. Each means something, and I'm not really going to spend so much time on any of those categories, but just give you what this program really has. You will have increased access. What that means is just to education, to free compute, free resources like myself, and so many product level engineers on the Microsoft side to help you build what you need for your organization. Education, it can be LinkedIn learning, it can be conferences that we have 2 times a year, and like doing a lot on the innovation side. So this is not a new program. We are active all over the world, and we are doing a lot. I will share a list of projects we are doing. Well, right now, I'm, for example, working with City of Edmonton on animal species classification. So what they do, they have so many images of camera traps located around the riverside. It's not really a river, but whatever, in Edmonton. And they want to know what are the animals coming to city that are not supposed to come. So the issues they have, those camera images are having human faces on them. This is an ethics problem. We don't want to deal with that. So detect that, blur that, and just remove it. Somehow we don't want people to have access to that because then it will be public knowledge at some point. And this project is all about looking eventually at the end of the analytics, building safe passages. So I don't know how many of you had a road trip to like Calgary, Edmonton area, but you see those funny bridges over the highway? Those are called safe passages for animals. So not to hit them, but they want to move in the jungle or wherever that location is safely. And those like analytics results will be used as part of that. If an animal is not supposed to be in city, what's going on that those type of species are ending up in the city, and what can we do to help? So a lot. As I said, we have a community that will support you. We have office hours every week, I guess, that you can get on a call and see what's going on in program and what are the other interesting problems are that other customers or other, let's say, organizations will be working on. We don't call them Microsoft customers because technically you don't need to buy anything from Microsoft or be a Microsoft customer. You should really have a problem to solve on this in this space, and then everything else will be just to support you. Whatever you need, if you need like an organization to pay for your resources, you need a data scientist to build the solution, whatever you need will be covered. For the people who have grants accepted with us, we have 2 summits in a year to support you and share all of the programs that we are supporting and having and learning opportunity as we have. So these are the projects I will be talking to you about. Again, I'm not in any way a person who can talk about land cover mapping and what it means to a farmer or things like that. I just know that this is the data and this is what they expected from me to solve, and that's it. Land cover mapping is just those funny satellite images, maybe to most of us really doesn't mean anything. We get that and said, okay, this is a river, this is a road, that's it. But analysts really look into those images to understand if one lake is shrinking. There is a water flow problem, there is a jungle, I don't know, problem, someone is cutting off trees, someone is doing something crazy with our earth. So a lot of people will want to look into that, and a lot of those processes are manual processes. This is what a big picture of the solution look like. You get those satellite images, you model, and then you will be able to detect all of those pieces of lands, roads, water, rivers, stuff like that. And then you can define it to do anything. Like tag it and let me know if there is a major change in a specific area. And then I know my human experts should be focusing on that specific area to understand what's going on. With no means, what we build in AI, especially in areas that are related to society, are just automated processes. That's just only to make the life of people who are manually analyzing these information easier. So at the end of it, it's all about the sensors that we have, we capture, we just flag them if something is going on, and they will go and investigate that. We can, and just before starting this, I would say people we work with are farmers, are not educated people. Like when I say citizen data scientists at some level is that you build a solution, you hand it over to someone who doesn't really have a deep understanding of AI, but they know how to use it. And the examples I use to like to play here for you are exactly showing that. You don't really need to be a company, or you don't really need to be a big organization to be having these problems or solving them. You can be just a community of farmers that are in need of something that Microsoft can help you with.
I've been a waterman on the Chesapeake Bay since 1995. When you're out there on the water every day for that long, you see how things have changed. It's hard knowing there's nothing you can do but watch.
My name is Bob Ingersoll, and I'm a farmer. The demand for our kind of work is only going up, and we're constantly looking at how to expand our yield without stripping the land or polluting the bay.
The Chesapeake Conservancy has been focused on creating tools that help answer some of these questions.
In the infancy of the Chesapeake Bay program, scientists built a scale physical model of the bay to understand how processes worked and to simulate potential solutions. A lot has changed since then, and technology has been the catalyst. The Chesapeake Conservancy has been a pioneer in the field of precision conservation, getting the right practices in the right places, but it hasn't always been easy. Until recently, land cover data was only available at 30 meters resolution and represented what the landscape looked like 7 years ago. Not great for precision planning. We raised the support and spent 18 months working with our partners to create a 1-meter land cover database for the Chesapeake Bay program. This unprecedented project took a lot of effort and massive computing power. Now we are working with Microsoft and using AI and deep learning to accelerate our work, both in the Chesapeake and across the country. Our collaboration is aimed at providing partners with the information they need to make informed decisions.
Taking advantage of advances in AI, we are working towards a process where land cover mapping could be done anywhere, anytime, almost instantaneously.
The Microsoft Cloud is freeing up organizations to spend less time on technology and more time on conservation.
Working with the Conservancy, I am now able to restore and protect my lands with the same level of precision that I grow my crops. This allows me to focus on what I need to do, provide food for people while sustaining the land and the bay.
I love this water. I love this work. It's a special place out here, and it's up to us to protect it.
Another project, FarmBeats. It's about farming. You can put a lot of sensors in your land. You can have images of your land and what's going on with your land. You can like temperature, moisture kind of sensors, and then eventually what you need to know as a farmer is that one, is it still a good place to grow XYZ? Am I still doing, my soil is still good, and should I be producing this specific product? So, and this is what we need in future really, because people are, maybe historically that's what they do, especially farmers, they grow potato, and that's what they do. But if we want to target 10 years from now, and if we want to know if this land is still good to produce potatoes, or now it's good to do and grow some other products. These are the information you really need as farmers. And they have learned to do so many of these through experience. So I'm not a farmer, but I've heard that if you produce or grow X potato for 2 years, the third year should be tomato. I don't know, something like that. But the idea is your land and the soil partials are like being used for one product or for one kind of a fruit. And then after 2 years, you're not productive anymore. They have learned through all of those experiences, through experience, but really no technology has been put into that. And if an area, the soil is changing completely because of like a climate change kind of a situation, they wouldn't really know about that. So it's all about gather the information and then tell them some insights about what's going on in their area. I won't really play it, like I will share the deck with you, but like all of these are having some information. This is like what I found interesting, really. Let's go back. Does anyone have any idea about how insects can be used to like monitor animal species? Like insects draw blood from animals, and those blood cells that are inside those tiny humans can tell you if there is specific animals in the area and how they are doing. So let's say we want to monitor elephants because it's distinctive, and you want to know if they're still around. You gather, like technically, you put a device, what did they call it? Smart traps. Those insects will go into that device, and if I'm interested in elephants, all the insects with the blood that are not related to elephants will let go, and the insects who are actually drawn like elephant blood will be kept in that device, and then the blood will be analyzed for whatever like they do. I'm not an expert in that either, but then that laboratory and how they analyze it, how do you actually get the information out of the insects and put that into a machine learning to analyze what's going on with elephants, that's what this is about. And I don't know, I thought it's a cool one, just because it's like having a smart trap. Something about that is cool for me, I don't know. You go in the wild, you capture the animals' pictures, either you as a citizen, they call it citizen scientist, like usually organizations have people who are monitoring the nature. They go out, they like see the environment, how many deers we have, how many elephants we have, how many fox we have in the nature, and if it's going up or down, if there is a specific species of animal that you are interested in. So Microsoft did a snow leopard analysis because apparently they are distinctive, and it's just like detecting those in the mountains is a hard thing visually for people. So drones are capturing the images, and then machine learning solutions are detecting those, and then apparently they are having unique faces like that, so they can track them. Again, I'm not a person I don't know a lot about snow leopards, but I do the machine learning side. And you can do the same thing with the agriculture section. So technically getting the images for the people who are active on the field and then working on them. This is, I think that this is the snow leopard project, but it can be applied to any. You gather the images, and then you can understand what's going on with our nature. Is it going well as always, or something is disturbing their like usual life? And is it getting warmer or colder? What's going on technically? And I will again skip this. So just quickly, we'll go over the people or the organizations who are actually working with our AI for Earth, or for that matter, AI for Good program of Microsoft. In Canada, usually on the agriculture side, we have universities, climate change again universities. We have like a group of researchers in Europe. We have Asia Pacific, like all over the place. And I cannot really emphasize it more than this. This is a non-chargeable or free, whatever you call it, resource, service that Microsoft provides. If you can pay for an aspect of it, that's good. If you have your own data scientist and you need a little bit of help, that's good. These solutions are usually talking about deep learning solutions. And if you are aware of those solutions, those are not going to work on a small amount of data. So when you want to classify images, image classification is essentially a deep learning solution. You need millions of images to train a model. And to do that, you as an organization may not have that. You want to do that, but gathering that data is not something you can do maybe in 1-2 months. So any type of like information help you need can be supported. You just need to file a grant application, and we will take it from there. Microsoft AI for Earth, just Bing it or Google it. Apply for grants. On the page you will see that. I will share this deck, hopefully with her and the organizers, and like they will find a way to get it to you. And not yet. Let's go deep into one of these that is actually working. These are not the solutions we sell. So everything is public, from the data, from the code. You can find the code on GitHub. I will show you one example of that. Just if you are a hands-on person, perfect. Go, grab the code, modify it if you need help. Just send an email. Like I was looking at the documents and I couldn't really count how many instances of you can contact us through this email was in there. So you can definitely find the one that you want. So this is the project I'm actually using for the city of Edmonton. Basically classifying the species around the river area. So search for this camera trap project. You have the code, GitHub, if you are a person that really is into code and can modify code. It's a deep learning solution on TensorFlow. So as a Microsoft AI strategy, we are not really looking into building an own language or platform. We have our own platform, but we support so many other platforms. TensorFlow is from Google, but that's a cool and really awesome deep learning platform. We have CNTK. This is good. But for this, we are using TensorFlow. So it's just like something everyone has access to. Go and just find the code, like all the details. We'll walk you through all of the steps. We'll give you the data. So the one and most important thing about these projects is that they are usually open source data available to you to work on it. In this case, if you follow the link, it will take you to this website saying that what is the data that we use. If you don't want to use our solution, feel free to get the data and work on your own. It will be a waste of time, but because you have a pre-trained model, why do you want to redo that? But I have customers who really want to build stuff on their own. You can download this data, and these are like, look into those like numbers, so many images on each of those animal types. I don't know so many of them by name, but apparently these are hard to get. Just before going deeper into this solution, I want to just show you something. Microsoft has an open data set type of a platform. So search, that's a better term. Search Microsoft open source data sets and you will find this. You'll go into weather or the society, satellite imagery, things like that, and you will get the data sets that you need. Again, Microsoft Open Dataset, there is a better version of that website. It is, you can search for what you need and it will tell you, maybe I should be in here and then search for it. Yeah, so earth science, healthcare, like there will be data and it's not coming up. Nice. Nothing works when you demo. And then Google also does the same thing. So if you need the data, make sure Google has recently, I think a couple of months ago, has put this on. You can search for your data. And like if there is any public data set that can help you, like again, weather and climate. It's a trend, climate change, earth, things like that. So you can find so many like open data sets that can help you. Transportation, if you're trying to solve an issue, healthcare. Those are all the data sets that are available to you if you want to start looking into problems like this. On the camera trap project, if I go back to my presentation, can I? No, I don't really try. I don't know how to come back here. So I will just show you through the links that I have open. It is just what it does. We have demo links. You can access them, upload your images. I will go back and it's just weird how to. How can I? Okay, got it. So if I go back, this is a general classifier. You just upload images. What it does is it will send your image to the Microsoft storage account, will process the image and get the results back to you. It's only for test purposes. That's why you can upload 10 images per test. But then these are the animals taken. This is a false positive. This is a tree, and it's detected as an animal. These models can detect cars, animals, and humans for now. If you go through them, how can I? Anyway, it's hard to, okay. So you can just see how they're detected. A better version of this, which we usually don't put up for your test. Why? Because then people will go and test it like crazy and say, it's not working. If a classifier is trained to detect lions, you can detect lions. You cannot really pull the random picture and say the model is not working. And that's why this is something we don't really publicly want people to try, but this is out there and you can find it if you want. I put it like that. If, again, upload the same images or something different, what you see is you will see the results of the classification. What type of animal our classifier think it is. And then the accuracy of that model. And if you go there, if you just send animals, it will give you a report. So we have APIs. If you go through the documentations, there are APIs. You call the API, send the images, get the results back in a bunch, and this is how your result will look like. So you will say how many are detected, and in this case, because it's not about specific species, it's like about animal being detected or not. You can go through all of the animals. And if you have done image processing, you would know that in open areas, it's really hard to do things like that. And at night, it's even worse. So it is just my customers are really having a hard time dealing with images captured like at night. And then if there is something not detected or almost detected based on the threshold you put for the system, it will be classified as almost detected. If you, okay, I really need to go back and bring in another. Let me just, sorry, you don't see anything. I will see if this is the one. That's okay. Now I want to show them this, so yeah, that's cool. Anyway, if you have a specific species, then this is what you get as confusion matrix. And I don't know, it's just, I think it's 30 type of animals detected here. You can see the list. And if you get into each of these categories, let's see, things are not detected here. And this is what we detect, and then it is labeled as whatever type of animal you would think it is. And you can process. We even have a platform. Usually people, when they do wild kind of animal and like picture analysis, they use tools like TimeSlap. But if you have any other tool, Microsoft folks will try to help you get the results back into your system so that your analyzers can analyze it. So for the city of Edmonton, what I'm trying to do is actually give them a test on this. And if they like it, and if they like the results they see, we'll go further. But this is essentially what it does. Ask for like someone on Microsoft to help you with that project. They will come, show you a test on your own data, and then you can say, I have money, I am an Azure user, and I want to have the solution on my side, or no, I'm an organization, I don't care about Azure and Microsoft or whatever. I'm building something for my society, so build something for me and not charge me for any storage, processing time, and whatever. I don't want to overpromise anything. I just know that there are grants. So just apply for and we'll get one. Because I don't know how to do this. I will just drag this here. I didn't know how to go back. So 5 minutes, I will just briefly go over this. AI for accessibility, 25 million on Microsoft's side, and like they help to build solutions that will help you with a daily, like kind of a life experiences that you have and experiments, like sample experiments, and also like this is a cool one that I really like using AI to help you place or like displaced people who are coming from other companies and what they really need. For humanitarian, we have programs for culture, heritage, and health. This is one of my favorite ones because it's just, we hear about so many countries not having access to doctors or labs. Like on a daily basis, I see TV promoting and talking about a country in Africa or Asia or like wherever. They can't test properly for diabetes because they don't have access to labs. So how can they like cure people if they are not really detecting, or detection is a computer science kind of a word, but how without like really understanding what's going on with your people. And this one is specifically, so Microsoft has done a lot in building devices like, let's say, portable labs. They will get the samples, they will upload the samples into a specific Azure location, and then test centers automatically will get those, analyze those, and send the results back. That's why I really like these type of solutions. So they get your blood, they put it in a device, all the particles, cells, whatever that is that you know as a doctor is important, it will be extracted, sent back to an actual lab, remote lab, or a computer-based kind of a lab, and the results will get back to you. So this is it. I put in my email address. Ooh. This is just so hard to, okay. Again, if you search the program that you need, you can find the people who can help you, but if you cannot really find a person to help you, or you don't really hear back from the contact email address that you are sending email to, just ping me and I will make sure that I will find someone to help you. I'm not the person, probably, most probably, but I will find someone to help you with that. 3 minutes left. Any questions? Yes.
Thanks for your presentation. Question, I'm not sure if you touched on it, but I'm wondering, once you do give the grants out and help people build their projects out, who owns the data that you collect? Do you guys own it along with the
No.
recipients?
This is one example of what Microsoft does, but for any other solution that Microsoft builds, we don't own the data. Data is yours. Data belongs to your organization. If you allow us to transfer the data, when I'm testing that, I'm sending those images back to a Microsoft storage account so that that algorithm can run on it. My customer really even don't want to do that. So they said, bring your model, deploy it in my environment, because even that transfer of data is not acceptable for me. We rebuild everything in their tenant and then test it. And it is the same thing for like almost everything we do, because data is critical to like almost all of the organizations. They don't want to transfer. And if you are in a public sector, which usually these use cases are coming from, or universities, data is really super critical to you and you don't want to transfer that data. That is what we do. It's just, you don't want the data to move out of BC. I don't know if we have a data center in BC. I know we have a couple in Canada, but those security, privacy are main conversations when we go to a customer. Data will not leave the premise that you define and ask us to do. Like, we are working with government of BC, and we understand that those are citizens' data, and they don't want to share it with anyone else. They don't want to transfer it out of Canadian borders and maybe not out of BC. So what can we do to help with that? Data is just yours. You can define what you want us to help you with and how we can help you. Anything else?
Yeah, so there's a question. We're running out of time, but we can. Okay, she's gonna email you a question.
Okay.
So thank you, Fariba.
Thank you for having me.